one other thing that I think LSU needs to improve on is the run game. In the season opener, LSU had little, if any, semblance of a run game. The running backs were rotating in. It was basically just a replay of what you saw last year. Putting different backs in pretty much every single drive. You know, Josh Williams, Noah Cain, Trey Bradford. And these are guys that all play football in a similar fashion. So rotating them in and out of the game doesn't really change anything. And those rotations accomplished nothing, really. The only sign of life from this run game was Jaden Daniels. 15 carries, 64 yards. Not sure what that is sack adjusted because he did get sacked a few times, and that takes away from the yardage. He had a couple of big runs, and he looked good when he got out in the open space. And, I mean, that's one of the things that had people so excited about Daniels preseason. That's why he was a top 3 Heisman odds receiver preseason, was because he not only can pass the football pretty well, but he can also run and be that dual-threat quarterback. He had a couple of long gains where in the open space he juked a couple of guys out. I got a really good clip of him juking someone out. I can't show it, which is frustrating. But, you know, you'll see it every single game you watch him on TV. But you need more than that. Brian Kelly said it himself. We don't want Daniels being our leading rusher. And this is something I've talked about a lot leading up to the season here, is the running back situation. You've got 6 or 7 running backs that could start or be in the top 2 at least on most college football programs. But you need to pick 2 that you like and just use them and stick with them so they can get their mojo going in a game and keep it and not come off the bench cold. So Noah Cain, Josh Williams, Trey Bradford, I think they all got 4 carries apiece, which I'm not really a fan of. This isn't, you know, one of those prolific duos that's in college football right now that's, you know, give him 8, give him 8. That's not really what this is. It's not a Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards at Michigan, or, you know, Mayan Williams and Henderson at Ohio State, Travion Henderson, where they deserve kind of split carries. That's not what this is. In fact, I don't really know that you have a running back 1 anyways here. What you've got are just a bunch of guys that are capable of playing the position, but you don't have anybody special. Nobody has clearly stuck out among this group. At times last year, we thought it was Josh Williams. We thought it was Armani Goodwin. Heck, we even thought it was Noah Cain at times. He was kind of the starter for the bowl game there in that same stadium in the blowout win over Purdue. Clearly, there's just not one guy that's taken over the position. John Emery didn't play. He's in, you know, his street clothes and his jersey, drinking a smoothie on the sideline, not playing. We don't know why, as far as I know, and he's not going to play this week either. Logan Diggs, Notre Dame transfer, was there. He warmed up, and I honestly forgot about him until after the game when I saw him walking back into the tunnel. I was like, Diggs, why didn't he play? I saw him catching passes in warm-ups. Coach Kelly said it was coach's decision not to play him, and I thought he would be the running back 1 for this offense. All the things that I had read coming into the season had him being the starter. So maybe that had something to do with this. I feel like maybe if he was fully healthy, I think he's got a hamstring or something like that, he may have gotten most of the carries and probably established this run game a little bit better. But he didn't play, and we'll have to see when he plays in the future, because I want to see if he was supposed to be that guy leading the charge for this running back room. So that's not going to cut it, what they accomplished in this game. Daniels goes for 64 yards. Everybody else, Bradford, Williams, Cain, 12 carries, 49 yards. There are several running backs in college football that will get 49 yards in 1 carry by 1 guy. So that's got to change. I think you've really got to pick 1 or 2 running backs and stick with them. Maybe it is Emery and Diggs, and they just, you know, they can't play right now. And when they do return, maybe they'll be the guys. We don't know. So that's something to keep an eye on moving forward. Also, you know, we got to talk about the offensive line. They just failed to get push and open up lanes. The long gains for yardage on the ground were few and far between. Daniels had a few where he kind of had to step up in the pocket, find a window. and go. It's easier to do as a quarterback if you can, evade the pressure and step up, because all the defenders are most of the time downfield, so you've got a lot of space to work with. The linebackers and DBs are, focused on other assignments. Josh Williams' 40 or however long it was yard run really boosted his numbers and was kind of the only long run play you had all game before halftime there, which it was like a 3rd and long. I don't know how the heck Florida State allowed that to happen. But that's neither here nor there. I saw something on social media recently where one of LSU's own offensive linemen, number 70, they were saying, I think that's Frazier, during the game was talking to Florida State's defensive line saying something to the effect of, "Dang, you guys are good, bro." Something like that. Which, you don't want your own offensive lineman saying during the game. You want them to bury that person, pancake them, and just focus on dominating the trenches. And they didn't do that. So a lot of this falls on the shoulders of the running backs, maybe a little bit to the play calling and the coaches, of course. But the offensive line, too. They didn't play spectacular in this game. Florida State's got a great D-line. Not taking anything away from them. Veteran guys, fifth-year seniors, high-touted recruits. Jared Verse is a first-round pick at defensive end, and those linebackers are good, too. But all 5 starters returned this year for LSU on the offensive line, and I just expected more. And between pass protection and run blocking, wasn't there. So that's another thing that LSU needs to establish and figure out moving forward if we're going to kind of find out and get a revelation as to what kind of a team we've got here this year at LSU. Because a team that's going to go the distance and contend for the SEC West and not get embarrassed by Alabama in Tuscaloosa is a team that's going to have the ability to be balanced, not only pass the football vertically and move the ball through the air, but also on the ground and pick up chunks that way. So that's something they've got to figure out and find an identity for moving forward if they want to find success.